Welcome everyone, it's Vapor Drakomar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to be continuing on our way to the top of the tower. Last time we destroyed Griffin. I'm not going to be attempting to do this full damage on my other account because it does not even remotely have the tools that you actually need to achieve this, by the way. I just want to point that out in case anyone gets any ideas. Because what ends up happening is, like, does this take technique, what I'm doing? Yes, because you're literally on the razor's edge. You mess this up, you're toast. So in this specific instance, you want to block revive as much as humanly possible while decreasing defense. See? We're still not done yet. Because this floor specifically is extremely dangerous for a lot of reasons. And part of the reason is the fact that these enemies, if they get momentum, they mess you up really bad. So you generally want to try to focus the important members first, like the Rhodos. Although in this case, I really want to focus down the Raglan, if we can. Because the alternative is extremely painful. There we go. We still have to get up here. Did we do that? Okay, yeah, we did that secret room. Gotta keep grinding these secret rooms because I want the champs in them. It has been a long time and I still don't have Dark Kale, for instance. I want Dark Kale. Even though not many people have him, I still want him. There's a lot of prestige. But I have to get Rion the Conjurer first out of the way before we can get to that point. I mean, if I can get Mashald on the way, all the power to me. I'd love it. And what's the chances of it? I don't know. I don't actually know. Because first we have to factor in right, what's the chance of me getting a legendary? And then the next chance isn't just, what's the chance of it being a legendary? What's the chance it's Mashald? Now, it doesn't have to be Mashald. There's a whole bunch of other legendaries I still want. Even if it's one from the Sylvan Watchers. There's a whole bunch of them. Hell, there's a whole bunch of epics I still want. Like where's the Man-Eater? I still want a Man-Eater. The game hasn't given me one. Same gave me Ursula the Moor. Ursula the Moor is not the worst thing in the world to get, obviously. But I still want a Man-Eater. Or a Seeker. Or a Skull Crusher. There's still a bunch of them I don't have. So, yeah. Like, The thing I don't like the most is like filthy dupe rares that are useless. Now, there are some rares that I could build a second copy of. Like, I'll check to see if I have it in my vault. See, because there's a lot of crazy champs in my vault. Like War Maiden, for instance, is a buildable. One of these Kales again. One of these marked. One of my 4 Apothecaries again. More of these Gnarlhorns. Like, there's a number of options. Alaric. This Painkeeper eventually. This Jingle Hunter. There's a number of options. A Jingle Hunter is lower on my priority list. Like, yes, I could build him. I just don't feel in the mood. I don't feel in the mood because I'm hunting for better champs than Jingle Hunter. Yes, Jingle Hunter can do a lot of stuff and some good gear. But I'm hunting bigger fish, obviously, or better stuff. And War Maiden is more versatile than Jingle Hunter. In general. Just in general. War Maiden also hits very hard. So, me building a second War Maiden is not out of the question. Now, will I do it entirely? I'd rather actually find one of these really crazy champs. Like, true, I could build a War Maiden. True. But I would rather try to save my building for things like avoid rare, for instance, like the Gear Grinder, you know? Deal with that. Or to make my 6-star Sylvan Watcher, the Mushroom Man. If you'll remember how valuable the Mushroom Man is, you can see why I might want to do that. Or better yet, if I get a Mashald, that would be even better. I would definitely prioritize the Mashald over everyone else. What is that noise? Whatever. Okay. Keep going. 54. 55. Yes. Now, it's not like I'm not doing Elder Scrolls Online. I'm actually doing a lot more than I've posted. I haven't posted all of it, but there's a fair amount I've posted of Elder Scrolls Online. There's still a boss I want to do, but I probably need a group. I've never been able to solo it, and I don't think it's scaled to be soloable. But yes. Like, I think it's scaled so that it forces you to do group. There's just some stuff like that. And of course, there is the Cold Harbor quest. I mean, we still have Valley of Blades and we still have Metamarco. I mean, I still want to get maybe 14 more CP before doing that because I want to have 700, I think, CP while doing that. That would be ideal. I'm not saying I can get it done necessarily, but that would be ideal. All right. It's not like I'm not going to be posting lots of stuff on Elder Scrolls. I most definitely will. Okay, defense champs. All right, so let's do it. See, it's awkward because I don't really have a good answer for Dealing with Valk. Do we have any block buffs? See, because this... I want to try this combo, because I don't know if it has revivers or not. Yeah, that lady over there is a problem. Keeping under control is going to be important here. I mean, I could use rosin here, but the main purpose of this guy on the right, this Tyrell, is his purpose is to control the Valkyries. Because it's ultimately the Valkyries that are going to be my greatest foe here. Ultimately. There's a reason I'm targeting the Valkyrie specifically. The reason I'm targeting the Valk specifically is that. Because once she gets this going, it's very painful. Because we have to get the Valk out of the equation. And I don't have a good block buffs or buff strip that's defense based. And that ultimately is what's going to make this very painful. I'm not going to put buffs up until the Valk is out of the equation. Keeping the Valk out of the equation is important. Because without that, we're in for a world of pain. And we're still in for a world of pain. Because we didn't block revive her. Which I am now determined to do. Why? Because I don't need her revived. This situation is very bad, and if she gets revived... I went to the wrong one. Oh. This is bad. That's even worse. Things have gone from bad to worse. Can I get to the boss and beat it in time? See, that's the thing. That's why I hate doing secret rooms. It's not just, do I have the stuff, which that in itself is already a massive hassle, by the way. In some of these secret rooms, like dwarves only, do you know how long it takes to get the dwarves you need to beat this floor? Like some of these? Like, I will go do that. I'm just saying, that's what I've said. The news has gone from bad to worse. It's already bad enough that I have to try to beat this secret room. Now, this starts to come into play. There's a reason I said this. Because Valk is one of those champs. Getting through her shield is nearly impossible. So, because of this, we are going to have a heck of a time. How much of a time, might you ask? A very bad time. Suffice it to say, the main key here is to get the Valk out of the equation. If we can get the Valk out of the equation, we're practically saved. But we must get the Valk out of the equation. Okay, now that the Valk is out of the equation, this simplifies matters greatly. Now you might ask, why? Well, now I'm free to attack them whenever the heck I want, and I don't have to worry about, like, gross amounts of retaliation. True, I'm going to have to revive Tyrell again, but you have to look at the positives here. Because the positives outweigh the negatives of this scenario. Because once we get him out of the way, we should be completely fine. Say. As you can see, though, it's still far from a smooth run because putting that much defense champs into one floor is really disgusting. But we beat it. Now the key here is to lock block buffs and then try to focus out Mashald. Because obviously, if you don't focus Mashald and Bastafis, they will completely destroy you. So that's something to note. Decreasing their defense as well as controlling their turn meter is also essential. Now, one way that I've improved this whole thing, at least in the terms of the regular clear, is because I have a lot more damage in play, I can clear these waves with relative efficiency, barring the secret rooms, which confine me to a very specific set of rules. Thankfully, he doesn't have the revive mechanic in here, because the revive mechanic from from Brachus can completely ruin you. So we're going into a very dangerous floor, actually. And the reason it's dangerous is because it's very hard to take out some of these guys in time, specifically the Ghostborns and the Mortimacabres, because that can get very bad very fast. As you can clearly see here, this is getting to be very bad. Hopefully I can block revive him before he retaliates with Deacon's help. Because otherwise, whoever gets hit by that peril will not come back again. And it gets more dire when you don't have as much support. Like, I can cheese this probably with Paragon, especially with Gnarlhorn. But when you're not doing the Gnarlhorn cheese, this place becomes a lot more dangerous. Like, a lot more dangerous. Okay. Yeah, get that block revive off. Because the last thing we need is for them to get something off and then proceed to destroy me. So, we have a very limited amount of time. We've got to win within the time allotted to me. I have been working on my Mushroom Man, among other things. It's very hard to have enough resources as a free-to-play to do all that. Like, at least I've got the Cape Pathfinder and the Epic, the Mushroom Man, which is what matters the most to me. So, that's what we've got. Getting him out of the equation is essential, the Turvold, as the Turvold is going to be a massive menace. Next up is the stinking Foley, because Foley will completely ruin my day, and it's best that we take him out very quickly, as he has a block revive and yada yada. Like, you don't want to get into what that guy does. He will wreck your day fully. Like, true, he'll save you if he's on your team, but like, you do not want to know what happens if he's on the enemy team and he gets going. You don't want to know, because it's all really disgusting. It all leads into a bunch of blocked revives. It's, unless you can damage mitigate the hell out of it, he's really a pain. So that's generally why you want to smack him hard, and you want to smack him fast, because otherwise, I am so glad that he's not built well. You don't want to know. You don't want to know what that could have happened. I could have wiped right there. That could have been instant death. And then I'd have to repeat the floor. And I'd be like, why are you so mad about that? Because I'm on a limited time schedule. And then everything died, and then I lose the time. Because time, when managing clans and doing stuff like that, time is your worst nemesis. It's always working against you. It's always working against you. That's what I always like to tell you guys, that the time, it waits for no one, and I have to do crazy. Now, here is the first dragon. I don't think I can do it like, okay. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to do it with less support, more damage. Now, is this risky? Yes. Is it worth it? Probably. The issue being is I need support for this dragon. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I need it. And I don't have a lot in the way of provoke. How do I want to approach this? Let's try the occult brawler strategy. But then we need something with an aura. This is dangerous, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I need a sill. Unfortunately, I need like a sill and a provoker. We're not beating this full damage. I'm sorry. We're just not. It's not happening. Like, I can get to the boss, but we have to get support in at some point. I probably should have put Deacon in here, but it's alright. I think I can make this work. But yeah, I need... At this point, I'm going to need a team here that actually... Okay, so we're going to get the decreased defense, block buffs, get that Heartseeker in, provoke, obviously. That's why he's here. If I had a Soulless, I'd be able to do this without that, but I need the provoke. You have to provoke him. There's no way around this. There's no way around this because if I have him not provoked, any full damage strategy will be destroyed. Heartseeker that. Provoke that. So this is one way to beat him, but there's other ways. I'm just... Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe. Maybe I could have done something else. Maybe. This is going to be a little bit crazy. I can do a rares only run of this. Yes, rares only. So I'm only allowed to use rares. Well, it's not going to be full damage, because at that point, I'm going to need some form of healing. So Apothecary, unfortunately, is going to be involved. Rares only, rares only. What do I want to do for rares only? It's got to be something force friendly, mostly, other than the support. Well, that puts me in a bit of a bind, doesn't it? Well then. I may just have to use Spirit Host. Double Gnarlhorn might work as well. I mean, Bellower is also an option, I just realized. But I don't... See, I don't know how successful this is going to be. So I need to raise some rare revivers. It's come to my attention, because reviving is very useful in Doom Tower bosses, but we'll see how this plays out. We will see. That's my compense, is rares only team. I don't want to do full, because if I do full damage here, right, we're in trouble. But if I do it with a support, like Apothecary, I can do it. It's sad to have to use Apothecary, but I don't feel like I have the damage. I don't have something that can just whoop this thing's butt into the next ether. I just don't. I could provoke it with a rare, but I'm not gonna go the strategy of full damage versus a Magma Dragon of this caliber. I'm just not gonna try that. All of these can be pulled randomly from mystery shards except one. And that's Coldheart. And I don't think you need her. Alright, so, I'm going to try to do it with the most accessible team I possibly can. The Gnarlhorn is mandatory. You're not going to beat this without the Gnarlhorn. I'm sorry. You're just not. And they don't like him. Let's try this anyway. I think the wave content is going to be a little bit too brutal. But we're playing with fire now. If you thought we weren't playing with fire before, we're playing with fire now. Because now we don't have Cold Heart. And our Kale died. So we are 150% playing with fire. Without even a shadow of a doubt now. So glad I booked him out. Because this is definitely playing with fire. Definitely. War Maiden is literally the damage. And then Apothecary and Apothecary is the main heal unit. Cleanse it with Spirit Host. Everything in here you see is a farmable rare. This is literally as budget as it gets. And don't tell me you can't use a War Maiden for this. She's a farmable rare. Everyone except the Gnarlhorn is a farmable rare. Alright? You need at least someone like Gnarlhorn. You have to have the Provoke. You must. If you don't have the Provoke, you died. You need at least Gnarlhorn for this. You can't do this on a budget team without a Provoke. Like, you basically can't do it because his skills become evil over time. Done. See? That's how you do it that way. Kale can't survive the dragon. Anyway, don't even get any delusions of that. We'll be going further into this next time. But remember what I said. You need someone like Gnarlhorn minimum to beat him.